guys, if there was one thing that I was ready for, it's to be done with framing. We're almost there, but we're back for another episode of Project Kiowa. And as you can see, standing on almost a fully framed deck. So we were just wrapping up here, connecting in the end joist. I had to go grab some hangers this morning so we could tie in the final piece to ledger on the end boards on each side. And typically it's a 1x8 or 2x8, but on the ends I need two 2x8s. A few other updates that we have, as you can see also, we've got our windows in. So we decided to go with black on the exterior and white on the interior. Spent a little more than what I was planning for on the windows to get the black color, but as you can see, I think it gives it a really good effect overall. Upstairs, we went ahead and updated. We went ahead and removed that chimney that we were talking about in the last episode, and then we went ahead and changed the door opening as well. I did a walkthrough with my engineer as well, and he gave me some updates around the structural integrity around the stairs. So we're actually gonna go through and do some reframing over this next week. Hopefully get us out of framing stage and into drywall by next week. So let's check it out. All right, stepping inside. We are finished with electrical, we finished with plumbing. We've got a few things that we're actually gonna take care of this week for HVAC. After we did some of the subfloor changes, we had to redo some of the ducts. So we'll have our HVAC company come back in on Wednesday, just do some filing touch-ups. That way we're prepping for drywall, planning for drywall in about a week and a half, about 2 weeks. And we are having to make some more changes to framing. And like I said, I am really ready to get out of this framing. So all down here is all good, but the biggest issue that we're looking at for framing is the load actually in the stairway. So I'll show you where we made some changes to these rafters right here. When we start taking out walls, we just don't know what we don't know, where the engineer's walking through and he's like, I don't like how the load's coming down. So what he's asking is to add another 2x12 here. That way we'll run new hangers that sit right under these boards, and then putting in a bigger header here. And that way it's taking this load that's coming down from the house, it's transferring all the way down onto this beam, but the 2x10 is big enough to be able to support that weight. Then we're gonna do the same here, is being able to run that 2x12 over, redoing this header again. So we put a 4x4 post here. So then the load is coming down onto this wall properly. And same thing here, running that 2x10, and it's gonna go all the way down to the basement. So we have all that load that's coming from the roof all the way down to a foundation. So it'll be on a little concrete that's like 18 inches wide, 18 inches thick, and 18 inches tall. Also, coming up here, as you can see, there is no longer a chimney. It's one thing that we do try to avoid is making changes, but it just made sense to be able to make this change. So with removing this chimney, it opens everything up to be able to have a normal sized door in here, as opposed to a 24 where it feels a little tight, but enough room to be able to walk in. That made it easier for our plumbers to be able to get the plumbing in the event that they ever decide to change out the tub, or just getting anything navigating through such a tight house. We still got to build out this wall. This wall is actually for the closet over here. So we'll bring this wall, frame it out, frame it in, and we have all this space for such a big bathroom. So we'll have to figure out how we utilize this space. It's kind of weird with the rafters being this diagonal where it really messes with the head height, but we'll make it work and we'll make sure it's functional. While we're up here, if you notice in any of the videos, we've got it marked out in red throughout the floors. And this is actually for our drywallers as well, to just call out where we're gonna put all of the outlets. That way, when they are just throwing it up, we don't miss any. And so when they see it on the floor, they're gonna say, hey, we've actually got an outlet here. Make sure we cut out the hole for either an outlet, a switch, or just a box on the floor. And then as you can see here, we did go ahead and replace that board here where we had some leaks. So we went ahead and replaced this with another 2x6. And we're probably gonna have to get some hangers just to make sure, again, when it comes to the engineering, all the loads properly being transferred. And with those metal hangers, it gives us that ability to make sure everything is transferring down to the foundation. We love to make use of previously used items. So actually, let's head over here into the butler's pantry mudroom area. We're utilizing one of the old doors to be able to just close up one of the windows temporarily. I actually did make a mistake and I ordered the wrong window. So this window actually does not fit into this space. We repurposed one of the other windows, but this one's on order. Try to get it expedited just to make sure we get this one in place in time for drywall. One of the other pieces that made a minor mishap really, but easily fixable, is the toilet spacing. So we're actually too close to this wall. We're actually about 2 inches too close to the center of the toilet. So we actually just gotta shift these two pieces, which we have room for. We just gotta slightly shift it over. That way, when the plumbing inspector comes in on the final, he's actually gonna check the spacing and just make sure we're aligned. And that way we can get that passed and we have no issues. As we're still in this powder bathroom, it's one of those pieces you can see where we have the register ready to go, but we actually just need to cut out the hole up top just because we replaced that subfloor. When the last episode, you could see this was all open. We were sistering all these joists. So they're all sistered, rewired, plumbed, all ready to go. Now it's just getting some of the HVAC work ready to go. That way we get proper heating into that bathroom. For those of you who don't know, as far as sistering, as you can see right here with the previous floor joist, this older phenomenal 2x6, I believe is what it is, we sistered next to it. That way we can retain the strength and the integrity of the floor, as well as fixing some of the unevenness of the floor above. So we've sistered a lot of them. Probably could have went the route of running new boards, but sistering, easier way to be able to keep the project moving forward. It's still gonna hold up as far as just integrity of the overall floor. And then followed with adding in hangers below to be able to make sure it's not just attached to the wood with nails, but there's an actual hanger to be able to support that structural weight. One of the last things here is, as you can see, this window is boarded up. One of the things is with the change of closing that door, originally we were gonna add the door here, but it actually made the most sense to put the back door here. And the reason I haven't cut it out, it is in our plans this upcoming week to cut out and open up, is we actually don't have the back deck. That's actually gonna be a later project for this project, but this actually just opens out to the outside right now. No support to be able to step out onto. So when we do put in this door, we'll probably put in some caging until we do the back deck. One of the changes that I was looking at as we were doing a walk after our windows is where this actually ends. So this is, we built up this box to be able to run the ducting to the bedroom upstairs, but it ends, not only does it not end like centered in the window, but it's offset to where it's like considering running it to the end of the window. That way it's a cleaner finish, or we just run it all the way through. But again, things to make changes in the field and when our framers come back through on the interior, something that we'll look at and address. Also, side note, not anything crazy, but it is a silly pet peeve of mine of like leaving the little red flag. So this red piece of paper is actually, if we're hauling lumber, which I hauled this piece, I brought it to the job site, but it's a little flag. So it's calling out when I have it sticking out in the back. It's like at 10 feet in my 6-foot bed. I put this is just telling people behind me, like, hey, like, watch out, there's lumber, don't hit it. But just a silly pet peeve of like, come on guys, we can just remove the flag before we install it onto the wherever we're framing. But anyways, that's all. Another piece to touch on is I've actually got to reframe some of this section here, where originally our water meter was actually going to be in the basement. With a lot of the new code changes, it actually requires us to be able to have a floor drain next to the water meter. That way, in the event something happens with the water pools in the basement, there's no floor drain. And where the floor of the foundation sits, the sewer line actually sits higher than the actual concrete floor. So be a bit of a pain if I were to break up concrete, put in a pump to be able to kick the water into the sewer line. So we actually brought it up to the main floor to be able to have a drain where it does drain into the sewer. And it's access right here in the event that there's a emergency of a water leak. We can actually come down into the main floor as opposed to going to the back of the house, downstairs onto the basement, and getting access to water. So we've got a few things that we are still wrapping up before we get to drywall. Like I said, we've still got some framing upstairs, but we just wanted to touch on the windows. Like, it is really opened up, brought in a ton of light. Like I said, you can see the exterior are the black windows, and then on the interior it's white. Give that a warmer effect on the inside, but just tons of natural light into this home. And I think as we finish it out with the paint colors that we have, it's gonna be feeling really warm, really homey once we get all finished. Over the next few weeks, we're starting to get everything, just ordered all the finishes. Like I said, in the next 2 weeks, we're working on getting all the drywall in. And so that's prepping for all of our finished materials, our cabinets, our flooring, our light fixtures. We've got everything ready to go. So once we start getting all of the foundational, the back end work of the home and getting into past that drywall phase, we're gonna see a lot of rapid changes, being able to see this space really come to life. So stay tuned for another episode of Project Kiowa.